Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be going through in more detail the garage update in Driving Empire, because a few of you asked me more questions about things like suspension and why I changed them and how it impacts track performance. So I'm going to be going through that with one, maybe two example cars, but I won't be doing racing, like actual race examples. The video itself is probably going to be an extra 20% faster in terms of the video speed, because I'll be doing a lot of explaining, and I know a lot of you guys can keep up if I have it run faster, so let's get into it. If you enjoy content from either Driving Empire or real life content, other video games, drop a sub before you go. So the example car we're going to use first off is one car that I've sort of in a way designed for the circuit race, and it's my Audi R18 Ultra. I believe it's a 2012 model. Yeah, 2012 Audi R18 Ultra. So if we go into Garage, the previous update allowed you to have one particular part per section. So we've got the engine, aspiration, brakes, tires, nitrous, etc. So you'd only be able to pick like racing engine, upgrade racing engine, or drag engine, upgrade drag engine. Now you can combine parts to get different performance stats. So by default, parts come in from the tuning kits. So if you go to the little toolbox icon bottom left of your screen, I think I've got, 4. So you get these from your daily challenges, or you can purchase them. If we go here, we go tuning kits, press plus. You can buy them for 20,000 each, or 200,000 for 10. And when you open them, you get a bunch of random parts, which you can then combine and upgrade and then install on cars that each do different things. So I'll just open all in bulk, and then you can fuse them. So all the lower quality parts will get mashed together to give you better quality parts. So we've got the normal ones, which are blue, they're like common. Then there's the green, then there's purple, and then gold. I've spent way too much money on getting as many gold parts as I can, because I wanted to be able to put whatever parts I wanted on at least 2 cars at a time. This was so that I always was track ready. I didn't have to customize a car, but in a way it's good, because if you only have 6 of each gold part, or 6 of each whatever quality part you're looking for, you can spend some time before a race you plan to do and customize that particular car by uninstalling the parts off the car that you currently have them on, and then reinstalling them on the car you do want them on. And then it can save you a lot of money, because you don't have to upgrade. You don't have to buy as many tuning kits or earn as many tuning kits. Instead, you can just unlock all the slots in the cars you want to upgrade and then go from there. Given how many changes there's been to the game and how upgrading the performance works, I can imagine this is going to be the last update for upgrading performance. If not, there'll be a few minor modifications to how this system works, but I don't see this system changing anytime soon. So we spawn in my Audi R18 Ultra, and we go to customize it. We go to performance. You can see I've got a bunch of different parts already in here. This is probably the best car to use in this example, because I've got so many different parts going on, and they have different things to add to the performance. So if we go to, okay, so when we open our backpack, we have the tire parts. So we've got the stock tires, which will give us 4 points for the grip on the front tires, 4 points for the grip on the rear tires. We've got the steering kit, which is basically just going to increase our steering angle by 5 points. Points are not consistent. It's usually a percentage of what you already have. So if you swap a part, these points is usually a particular percentage of the pre-existing, and it will differ because top speed, say 10% of my top speed is about 40 kilometers an hour, but then 10% of my acceleration is about 8%. So it's going to be different per part. But in general, the more plus symbols you see, the more performance you'll get per section. So having all gold parts and getting as many plus symbols as possible usually means you get the best performance. Then we've got the slick tires, which is great for front grip, and then we've got the off-road tires, which is great for rear grip. Drift tires is only if you really want to make a drift car. I try and, like, I don't want them, but sometimes you don't get to pick which parts you get in tuning kits. I wish I didn't get as many. I've used all my quad turbos on 2 cars, so they're no longer in here, but in the aspiration we have the twin turbo kit, which will equally improve your acceleration and speed. The supercharger improves mostly your speed, but then the quad turbo gives you even more acceleration, 5 points. So the purple one, which is the second one, gives you 4. The quad turbo will give you 5. Nitrous, we have duration, which we can add. We have refill, and then we have boost. Now there are parts. Something weird I found out is that this isn't just what you get. So if you actually get parts for your engine, like the exhaust system, which gives you more boost as well as speed, and you combine it with the boost system in your nitrous, it'll actually allow you to get extra boost from that. So see here, we've got the exhaust manifold will give me a higher top speed and also more boost. So if we combine that with our boost upgrade, they'll work together to give us a better boost effect. And in engine, we have the steel pistons. They give us 5 points of extra speed. So that's just top speed. That's not going to touch our acceleration. The flex plate is a pretty universal part because it equally upgrades the speed and acceleration just like the dual turbo will. The exhaust manifold will give us 4 points more speed but also 4 points more boost. So it'll impact our nitrous. You can see my light blue at the top left has gone up quite a lot for this car. And you can see what I've prioritized for the track, which light blue parts have been upgraded. Then we've got the cylinder block, which will give us more speed but also more boost refill. Then the air filter, which gives us more acceleration. Now if you just had a car that already had a high top speed and pretty good acceleration like a Hennessy Venom F5 Roadster like what I've got, you could just spam the air filters, use 6 gold air filters, and you would improve your acceleration for the engine parts by quite a lot. Then we also have the brake calipers. I've got them in gold. The more you add, the faster you will brake, but in races your wheels can lock up and you can skid. So for this car I've opted to just have 4 gold ones instead of 6 because it allows me to brake as fast as I need to without losing too much speed but also without drifting as much, because drifting is super annoying when you're actually in a race. So for this setup I had a look at the specs of my car when it was stock and then upgraded it accordingly. So the top speed for the Audi R18 Ultra, as far as I know, is 375 stock. So it wasn't that high. Usually in circuit I want to reach a top speed between 410 and 425 k's an hour, because I know with boost on the straights, especially the home stretch, I can reach upwards of 550 k's an hour. The big advantage this car has is its acceleration and handling at stock. So it came in with just before 80% handling, I believe, stock, which meant that it could take corners really well. This car's also very low to the ground, so low center of mass, and we'll touch on that again in the suspension section. The handling is also really, really good, so I improved that as much as I could to take corners better, and nitrous was okay, so I upgraded that quite a lot. And then braking, I haven't done too much to it. So in engine, I've been tweaking this a lot. I'll make a change and then I'll do a race and I'll see how I perform. Sometimes I'll do multiple races if I've done big changes. And I'll see how my cornering goes. I'll see how I can brake and accelerate before and after corners, and then what top speeds I can reach. So for my car, and this is a bit of a trade secret, so if you want to get a really good car for circuit and you have this car, I would give these upgrades a go. If I made no mistakes, I could easily get 2 minutes 25 seconds for a circuit race, no problems. But so far I've only managed to get 229, and that was with some mistakes like braking too early or clipping a barrier. So for this one I've got 2 flex plates, so then we cover a little bit of extra speed, a little bit of acceleration. So if we were to press uninstall, then you can see our top speed and acceleration dropped by a little bit. But if I add it back, you can see it will tell you with little green stripes how much extra percent you'll get. So in this case for acceleration, I'll get 1.09% extra acceleration and then plus 3 kilometers an hour. But it's strange because you actually get more kilometers per hour. So it said plus 3, but it goes to 11. That's because there's decimal percentages or decimal amounts in here that they don't display on purpose. And you'll notice that when you drive, if you have, say, 411.5 kilometers an hour top speed, then your top speed as you reach that top speed will glitch between 11 and 12 because you're on that half point. I've used only 1 air filter just because I could go without it. I've done what I need to prioritize over here, and I just added it because I had a quote-unquote spare slot. So I've got the top speed that I wanted without boost, and then this will just give me more acceleration on top of what I've already got. So we're probably in the 90s of percents for acceleration. Then I added 1 cylinder block because it dramatically improved my boost refill ability. And then I've got 2 exhaust manifolds because then it would bring my top speed up to what I want it to be, but also give me 8 points of extra boost power from my nitro system. If I just did all flex plates, yes, my acceleration and top speed would improve quite a lot, but then when it came to actually using boost, it would suck. And so when it comes to getting back to my top speed as soon as possible, I would start getting gapped by those electric cars you see on the track. In here, I'd noticed another weird feature. If you go just twin turbos for the whole thing, or just quad turbos, it impacts your boost. So here I've opted for 2 twin turbos, so I get a little bit of extra speed, and then 4 quad turbos to maximize my acceleration, because I get a huge benefit of acceleration from that. If I were to remove all of these quad turbos, you can see my acceleration's gone down to just 80%. So now I'll add them back. Now be careful, I do it very quickly, but if you accidentally don't install one, then you'll be at fault for that. Don't blame me. So that's all sorted. Acceleration is the focus here, because we've got our top speed sorted. Brakes, we've got 4. I did just combine a bunch of my parts to get another gold one, so I could experiment with the 5th one, but so far I found that it skids me too much, so we'll see how that goes. Now in the tires, I've got a steering kit in gold. Previously I experimented with using a purple one step down, because it was cornering slightly too aggressively. Then I counteracted that by having 1 front slick, so it allowed me to have good grip on the turn but not too much, and then the rest were rear tires, like off-road tires for the rear grip. And this is because as I came out of a corner or was in the middle of a corner, I wouldn't fishtail, my rear would not swing out, which was awesome. A very good choice for the rear tires there. So I could corner relatively aggressively with this car, but the car also wouldn't slide out of control. For nitrous, I've got 3 duration, which means that I can do a boost cycle for a long time. Then I've got 2 boost modules, which pair up nicely with the exhaust manifolds as the engine part. And that gives me a good amount of oomph. So with boost, and it's a full thing of boost and I'm at top speed, I can reach about 520 to 530 kilometers per hour, which is all I really need for a circuit race. I don't need any more than that. And I've got 2 refill modules for this, which will give me my boost back as soon as I need it. So if I do a corner, come out of it, use boost, and then I approach another corner, I'll have more boost to get out of that corner when I need it. For suspension, I've left height at stock, because if you go too low, you get issues like decelerating from your boosted speed back to your stock top speed too quickly, because the wheels will glitch with the road, or the chassis of the car will glitch with the road. You can see it's quite low here. You don't want your car, the actual body of the car, to touch the environment, because that has a lot of friction and will slow you down quite a lot. So I've opted for stock suspension height. So the front wheels, you can see, are a little bit higher than the back, and that is to allow me to mount curbs a lot more easily, to smoothly get over small bumps. On a circuit race, you won't get big bumps because it's mostly flat track. Camber, I've also put to 0. This is so that the tilt in the tires allows me to resist flipping over if I do a corner very sharp. That has happened quite a lot in the past, especially if you hit a small bump. So this will let you slide onto curbs and small bumps with more ease. And then if your car is tempted to flip over, this angle will let you maintain traction if one side lifts off by a little bit. For offset, I always go maximum. Sometimes if you're in garage, it'll glitch and reset, so you just want to make sure it's all the way to the end. This offset being wide and your height being low will lower your center of mass, allowing you to maintain more stability when racing, which is very important for taking corners. Drivetrain is always all-wheel drive to maximize our use of the engine and the grip on the track. I don't think I've ever used rear-wheel drive because the difference in power is phenomenal. So when we actually race this car, I'll show you guys. It takes off in boost quite well. See, I get to my top speed very quickly. So if I do some corner taking, I'll show you guys that as well. I can very confidently take corners up to about 275 km an hour without doing too much drifting. I can slow down the corner fast enough. Like this. Reach my top speed. Boost can get me just over 500 km. Didn't go quite far there with the full tank. I'm going really fast, I can slow right down to 0 in a real short amount of time. So that's good. So you can see I'm cornering quite tight, and this gives me really good ability on the circuit race. Now with the camber, you can see these curves, I can mount them very easily, and it doesn't impact the car much at all. So if I'm doing a rush hour race, and I do this corner, and I mount the corner, it doesn't flip my car or slow me down much. So if I make a mistake like this, that will work as well. I'll cut a corner like this. It doesn't want to flip as much as before. If I had perfectly flat camber, then if I hit the curb, it would have a much greater impact. Same if my car was too low to the ground, if the front wheels were lower, and if I hit a curb, I'll just stop immediately instead of mounting it like that. I'll switch to another car to give you a few more examples of upgrades and why you want to choose them. So I've got my 2023 Hennessy Venom F5 Roadster. We'll go to customize this bad boy. So for this car, it's got a really high stock top speed, so I've tried my best to not have any focus on the top speed. So for this one, I've got all air filters to try and maximize our acceleration, so how quickly we can get to that top speed. What I've noticed when upgrading top speed is that because the final gear in most cars is when it has to do the most work to get to your top speed, it'll dump a lot of that top speed upgrade to that final gear. So if your acceleration is not improved by much, once you're in your last gear, it'll take forever to get to your top speed. So acceleration should be a big focus if you have a really high stock top speed. So here I've done just like the R18, 4 quad turbos and 2 dual turbos to focus more on our acceleration. And then for braking, I've done all of them because of the higher top speed. I need more braking power to decelerate. For tires, this car actually came with really good stock handling. So I've just done mostly rear off-road tires like this and one slick at the front to make sure we don't drift out of control when we corner tightly. Nitrous is 3 duration, 2 boost and 2 refill, just like the R18. Because we won't be needing to go above our top speed as much in a race, because we already have a really nice high top speed. But we do want that duration in the boost, so that while we're accelerating, especially if we're in our final gear, we can get to the top speed sooner. Suspension height, I've actually set lower than factory on purpose, with the front wheel slightly higher than the back wheel, very slightly. This is because the car is already a little bit higher off the ground than the R18, but I've lowered it on purpose to make it more like a track car, so while I'm on the road, it can perform like the R18 in terms of stability. Offset is the same, nice and wide, nice and far out. It does go a bit wider than the R18, so its center of mass is very low, but because I've designed this car to corner very aggressively, it can still have some chance of flipping. Camber is also set to 0. You can see it's tilted there, just so then we can mount the bumps. So this one I use primarily for cross country. And I'll show you guys what it can do. So you can see corners way tighter, but because of the grip on the road with the tyres, it handles it quite well. The turning radius is very, very small. Very, very tight turning radius. So as long as I practice the squiggly roads at the start of the cross-country race, I can handle them very, very well. And if I do a turn too sharp, it will begin to drift, but not to a point where I'll spin out of control. So I can turn very, very tightly. The only difficulties I run into is when I get to the bridge on the straight of cross-country, because if I make any small adjustments to my direction, like to my steering, while I'm on that bridge, it can cause me to hit the side and lose all of my speed. So I've got to practice that a lot too. But overall, these settings on this car is fantastic. Acceleration still doesn't match the R18, but because of its top speed and handling and braking, it's fantastic for cross-country, and I can get times under 2 minutes 30 on average. So that's very, very good. Anyway, hopefully you guys found this video helpful, and I will see you guys in another one. If you want more videos like this, make sure you subscribe before you go. And yeah, that is the detailed explanation on the parts upgrades. If anything new comes up, like new discoveries I've made, I'll probably do a short video, unless it's a big discovery, and then I'll make another feature-length video. But thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.